Yeah, I think you have to have been around the block a certain amount of times.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
I think that's one of the partyingest songs you've ever done.
Tell Me Baby?
Yeah, it just parties like crazy.
Came about from a jam, Philippe playing one of his awesome slap bass lines.
What gets me in that song is the chorus. We all, between the chords and the words and the notes and the tones and the beats, it feels real. Like you really feel the sensation of a person going through something.
Yeah.
Tell Me Baby is kind of about that river of humans that flow into Hollywood.
Yeah.
They flow from Nebraska, they flow from Tallahassee, they flow from New York, and there's this constant, wild influx of hopes and dreams and desires and, plans and, aspirations for actors and singers and dancers and magicians, and, they all want to come and get a taste of what it is to make it, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah.
We get their energy. This town gets all that crazy kind of hopeful, wishful energy, but we also get the broken dreams of, like, the reality that doesn't always work out so well.
And we also get the sadness of people like just really barking up the wrong tree, like not like trying to improve themselves as artists, but trying to get close to fame, and the ugliness of the power and fame being like this god to people, where they try to get next to it or be a part of it or do anything they can. Like that, to them, that's the whole, their light in life, is to how intimate they can be with power and fame, and how much they can rub about it or get a little in their pocket or whatever.
So that can be a lonely place to find yourself.
Yeah.
And that song's a little bit about the loneliness of a girl who just, came searching for something that she really didn't ever need or want in the first place.
Cool.
Little Wizard of Oz, 2006.
Yeah. Slow Cheetah, my favorite song on the whole record.
Do you like the song?
Huh?
Do you like this one?
You know about my perfect 10, right?
It's a perfect 10, yeah.
One of the things that I really like about it is that it's slow enough that you can really hear the words.
Oh.
And I think that's one of the things that I really like about it, because you really feel the story of the song. It's a little bit more literal lyrically. Is it a little bit more literal? Maybe just because you can hear them real clearly.
I think it's because you can hear them. I mean, it's a pretty big metaphor in the chorus.
Yeah, but it's such a beautiful metaphor. Like when it hit me, what it was, it's so beautiful to me, because there's nothing I love more than slowing down. Like everything's so fast and my mind goes so fast. When I slow down, I get so happy. And the image of something that's so fast and powerful. I just have the image of this slow motion cheetah, like running through the Serengeti, but just in its full stride, like it would go with its muscles rippling and its beautiful coat, but so slow, like in slow-mo, but not slowed down by a film. Like it's just doing it in this magic slowness, and it's an incredible image. Yeah,
I'm so happy that it's a perfect 10 for you. That makes me like it even more. And, it was sort of an imperfect 8 for me. And you're feeling so connected to it, makes me see more beauty in it, I guess.
I love it.
Some days it's effing hard to concentrate, brah.
Yeah.
I certainly liked this song from moment one, when it got going at rehearsal. That was one of the songs where I was very grateful that day, because not only did lyrics start to come into my head, but rhythms and, patterns, vocal patterns started emerging for me really on the spot. It's really about slowing down again and just, finding what really matters at the end of the day.
Came up with the groove at Big Sur.
Did you? It made a lot of sense to me immediately. It sounded like a very sensible idea to play those notes one after the other.
When I was actually really trying to imitate John's guitar playing with that bass line.
Oh, yeah?
Doing that.
Interesting.
Yeah. He had said that he had written that to write something in the style of John.
I'm sure he was saying the same thing.
He was thinking about you when he wrote it. Because ever since, Blood Sugar Time, I'm always, I guess it was inspired by Eric Avery from Jane's Addiction originally, where you just have two notes that are far away from each other, And so he was writing a bass line, in that kind of style that I'd made a whole sort of guitar style out of.
I remember I was sitting in my bedroom, and I came up with a series of bass lines, and I came running into the kitchen. It was Thanksgiving Day, and my sister and Gavin were making Christmas dinner. And I was like, and Gavin was like, you were supposed to put the potatoes on or something in it. And I was like, but just listen to this, you gotta hear this. I couldn't potatoes, I just can't with this thing. You gotta hear it. I tried to do that thing where you put the bass neck up.
In the ear?
And he was like, just didn't want to hear it. All he could think about was the fucking potatoes. And I was like, Jesus Christ, fuck the potatoes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, anyways.
So did you end up having the potatoes?
The potatoes ended up being good.
Come On Girl is another one that I wrote at my girlfriend's apartment.
Often when he comes up with a part and he does have an idea for what rhythmically he wants it to do, and he will tell me, you know, it's like, I remember playing along with you, and I was, so he was saying that to me, you know, do that with me.
You know, it was also just part of my concept for this album, just like for Danny California was another one that had, I just wanted to have, I didn't want to necessarily like have songs that were just heavy metal songs the whole way through or whatever, but I wanted to have a certain amount of songs that had choruses that were just heavy metal, you know, heavy metal riffs, you know, and so that was another one where we did that. The guitar solo section of that one is something I'm proud of. We did
the backwards.
Yeah, we did backwards filtered reverb on the guitar, and it's all technical stuff you people
go figure that one out, kids.
John came up with all those parts, those Come On Girl parts. It's hard as hell to play on the bass, that song.
Is it?
It's the biggest challenge. I'm up to the task, though.
Wow. I didn't know it was so hard to play.
It's just hard and fast. Like, it sounds like a pick, but it's just really hard.
Ooh.
What is that song lyrics about that you wrote?
Well, they're pretty abstract and kind of just image-oriented in the verse, because that was one of those things where you guys came up with this rather non-traditional and cosmic time signature thing. You know, I don't know if it's in a weird time signature, but just...
It's intricate.
It's intricate. It's intricate, yes. And the pattern is you know, it doesn't always repeat perfectly, and you know, it's how you guys write, which is cool. And so what I came up with was just a melody and a vocal rhythm that sort of worked with the crazy guitar patterns that were happening in the verse, and I didn't have a lyrical idea. And so when it came time to writing lyrics, it was one of those things where I have to find words that fit into the rhythms. Right. Which is a fun way to write.
So the rhythms really dictated the words.
The rhythms dictated the words.
Right.
And it's kind of an exercise or an experimental way of writing, because sometimes you end up getting some really cool ideas that you wouldn't have come up with if you were thinking, okay, this song is about her, or this song is about that.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of reveals itself to you, and like you're like, oh, I see what this is trying to say. Right. Because you're coming from a different angle. Ready Made, I'm sure that this song is closer to the other three hearts in this band than my own. This groove is more, I feel like it's coming from that place that I never quite totally felt a part of. Right. And I really just was doing my best to come up with something.
Right. Because I was surprised I dig the song. I think it's a warm, rocking song. But it's also not my nature either. It's a real Chad and John nature song.
That's what it is.
One of my favorite numbers.
I wrote that one on bass.
Good?
Yeah. On this album, I got better at playing bass with my fingers. Usually I would just play with a pick. And the part in the verse of that, I wrote it on bass, just sitting right over there. And
John just came in with just the heaviest riff and was just so great.
And then the chorus came from a face-off.
Right.
And my friend Johnny Ramone had died just right as we were starting to write this record, and so he was on my mind a lot. I think a big part of my intention to have those sort of heavy metal things at choruses, the idea wasn't exactly that it would be heavy metal, but more so that things would be based on the basic like power chord shape rather than which most of the Ramones music is based on, rather than interesting chords and stuff. I wanted to just get good progressions and good rhythms.
I think it's a really nice flavor to have on the album. You know, it's like really heavy, and when Flea comes in with the bass and John's guitars come in, like, and it's a big swell, and you just know something really exciting is going to happen. It's really a good sounding. I think it's a good heavy song.
Yeah, you got to get some good heavy stuff in there.
Yeah. So don't tell us we're fucking going soft on you, fuck.